Now, how to implement after insert triggers? Let us go back to the same example what we have seen in the earlier case. The list of records, you got a list of records. We are trying to insert a list of new records. When you click on insert, trigger is fired. The logic is implemented in the trigger. Then the records are saved successfully to the database. When you insert the record, before insert triggers are fired, logic is executed. Then the records are saved successfully to the database. Once the records are saved successfully to the database, then after triggers are going to be called. So then what is called here? After. So when are these after insert triggers fired? After the records are successfully saved to the S object, after insert triggers are called. In the after insert triggers, the list of records which are successfully saved to the database, the list of new records which are successfully saved to the database. Which records are successfully saved? Capital, Education, 8888, Dell, IT, 8888. The list of new records which are successfully saved to the database, those records are referred using trigger.new. So in the after insert trigger, trigger.new variable store which data? List of records which are saved to the database. List of new records which are saved to the database. Now, if I write a SOQL query, which records I am going to get? If I write a SOQL query, select the name from. Which records I am going to get? When I say select name from account, we are going to get the Pro, TCS, Capital. The list of records are given. Why all the 4 records? Because the records are already saved to database. As the records are saved to database, if you write a query, you are going to get all the records. Now, if you want to modify capital or Dell, should I make a write or DML? We have to make a DML. Why? Records are already saved. If records are saved to database, if you want to make any modification on those records, it has to be what? It has to be what? Only after insert. It has to be only what? DML operation. So in this list of records which are successfully saved, they are referred by using a keyword called new. They are referred by using a keyword called new. I hope I am clear. Okay. Now in the before insert, records which you are trying to insert, they are in trigger.new. In after insert, records which are successfully saved, they are in trigger.new. Clear? In the after insert, we also have a variable called trigger.new map. What is this? It will give you map of new record ID, record. When you say trigger.new, list of record. When you say trigger.new map, map of record. Where record ID is the key, record is the value. Why we don't have trigger.new map in the before? In the before insert, we don't have trigger.new map. Why? If you want to get a trigger.new map, we need the record ID. When we will get the record ID, only after the record is saved, we will get record ID. That is the reason we have only trigger.new in the before trigger, trigger.new map, trigger.new in the after insert trigger. People are clear? Now, let us take one example. Now I have next example. I have a requirement. So my requirement is whenever new account is created, whenever a new account is created with rating as hot, then create Wilson as account team member. Whenever a new account is created with the rating as hot, create Wilson as account team member. So, if you want to create an account team member, first thing what should I do? Enable account team member. If you want to create an account team member, we have to enable the account team member. How to enable it? Setup. build, create, set up, build, customize, accounts. First I am replacing the custom button with the custom page with the standard page. We have replaced one of the page, right? One of the then on the account object we have account team member. Are you finding? In the account we are finding account team member. Create account team member. Set up, build, create, build, customize, account team member. I think I have not enabled the account teams. Let me check it out. Account teams. Account teams. Enable account teams. First, creating what? Enable the account team. Once you enable the account team, right? How did I enable? Set up, build, customize. So we have account. The account we have account team members. Account team member. The roles are given. Roles are given. So enable the account team member. Then you can create. Right, boss. Then how to create the account team member? If you want to create an account team member, there are 4 points here. On which record you want to create an account team member? Whom you want to create as an account team member? What is the role we are giving for an account team member? What type of permission we are giving? There are 4 fields. Account team member. What are these? One is account ID. Second one is parent ID. One is account ID. Second one is user ID. Third one is team member role. Fourth one is account access level. So there are 4 fields which are available, which we need to create. So what are the fields? Account access level, read, edit, all. You are creating the Wilson as account team member. What type of permission you want to give? Account ID. Which record? On which record you want trying to create an account team member? Then we got it. What is the role of the team member? Team member role. Who is the user whom you are creating as account team member? So what are the 4 fields we need? Account ID, account access level, team member role. By using these 4 fields, we have to create an account team member. So let us see how to create a trigger and implement this requirement. So let us go to the Wilson first. We have a student. Let us create a trigger. File, new. What type of trigger is this? Offense. Then take one by one record. The list of new records which are created, I have taken one by one record. Check rating equal to. Check whether rating equal to what. If rating equal to what, I want to create an account team member. How do you create an account team member? Account team member. ATM equal to. Account team member. Then account team member dot account ID. On which record we are trying to create? What is this A? Account. On this account we are trying to create account team member. Then who is the user? Can I write a SOQL query within the for loop? It's not a good idea to write a SOQL query within a for loop because there are limitations. Within a method, how many SOQL queries we can write? 100 SOQL queries. We cannot write more than 100 SOQL queries. Fine. Now, ATM dot User ID equal to dot. Then what type of access you want to give? Account access level. ATM dot team member role. Team member role equal to account manager. Then I am giving insert ATM. Now within a transaction, how many DML operations we can write? How many DML statements? 150 statements I can write. I can call DML operation how many times? 150 times in a minute. But suppose if there are 1000 records which are inserted. Suppose if there are 1000 account records which are inserted, how many DMLs are happening? 1000. But within the method, how many DML operations I can perform? Only 150. So there is a possibility that it may throw error message because I may apply more than 150 DML operation. If I write a for loop, there are 1000 records, then how many times the for loop will run? 1000 times. How many times you are calling insert? 1000 times. But basically, within a transaction, I can write a DML how many times? Only 150 times. But it may give error. There is a reason what I am doing. Don't perform the DML on every record. Put them in. Create a list. All the new records, whichever you created, add them to the list. Names dot add. Now I am giving DML on insert. So how many times I am calling the DML? Only once. Previously, if there are 1000 records, 1000 times I am calling. But now I am calling only once. That is how we are adding the elements to the loop. Never write SOQLs and DMLs within a loop because there are limitations. Never write SOQLs or DMLs within a loop because there are limitations. Account team member. People are clear? So what did I do? If account rating is odd, create the Wilson as account team member. Go back to the account. New account. HDFC. When I create it, scroll down. We have account team member. Let me add it up. Go to the page layout. Team members are created, but it's not added on the detail page. Go to the data list. There was that account team. Look at this. Account team. Student was created as account team member with the account manager. This is how I implemented. When is this created? After. Why I have gone for after? Tell me. You might have done with the before insert only. But if I want to create an account team member, you have to tell me the record ID on which I want to create. If you give me the record, if you give me the ID of the record, then only I can create account team member. When will I get the account ID? Only after insert. That is the reason this requirement was implemented using after. If it is a before, I cannot get the ID of the record. ID of the record will come only after saving the record. If it is a before, I will not get the record ID. That is the reason I have taken after insert. When you say after insert, record is successfully inserted, we get the ID of the record. That is how I implemented this. People have followed. So if you want to create an account team member, what are the fields we need? ID of the account, user whom you want to create as the account team member, role of the team member, and account access level. Right. Before you create the account team member, what should I do? Enable the account teams. Enable the account. How did you enable the account teams? Set up, build, customize, account teams, enable. Record.new is a list. Record.new map is a map. Record.new is a list. Record.new map is a map. They are two different variables. Record.new is always what? List. Record.new map is what? Map. Both are not same. Two different variables. People have followed this point. Any further queries on this? So take this example. So we are trying to understand update triggers. When are these update triggers fired? Whenever you are trying to modify any one of the existing record, then the update triggers are going to be fired. Am I right? When are the update triggers fired? Whenever you are trying to modify any one of the existing records, then the update triggers are going to be fired. Now, when you say update triggers, the records are already there in the database. Now, when there are 4 records, I am trying to modify 2 of the records. As per my requirement, I am trying to modify 2 of the records. So, before modification, what are the values we have? Before modification, what are the values we have? Capital 3333 education, del 4444 IT. These are the records which you are trying to modify. You are modifying this record as what? You are modifying these records as, so let us see, these values I am modifying, capital, these 2 records I modified into capital 8888 education, del 9999 IT. We modified these records, we modified these records clicked on the button. We clicked on the edit, we modified the values into this, then I clicked on update. So what happened? Before these modified values are saved to database, we are going to file before update trigger. When you modify the records and click on update, then what will happen? Before update trigger is fired. So when is this before update trigger fired? Before update trigger. So when are these before update triggers are fired? When you modify the records, click on update button. Before the modified values are saved to database, before update trigger is fired, then the records are saved to database. The list of records which you are trying to modify, those list of records before modification are stored in trigger.old. The list of records which you are trying to modify, those records with the old version of values, they are stored in trigger.old. So trigger.variable store which record? The list of records which you are trying to modify, those records with the old version of values are stored in trigger.old. Then we have trigger.old map. The list of records which you are trying to modify, those records with the old version of values are stored in the map, where record ID is the key, record is the value. The list of records which you are trying to modify, those records with the modified values, that's a new version of values. The records which you are trying to modify, those records with the new version of values, they are stored in trigger dot, and the records are going to be dot like this. Now in the before update trigger, if you write a SOQL query, which records you are going to get? If you write select phone from account, which records we are going to get? Is the modified values are saved to database? They are not saved to database. So if you write a SOQL query, which records we get? 1111, 2222, 3344, right? 3333, 4444. Why? Because the modified values are not yet saved. If you write a SOQL query, which record we are getting? Because the new values are not yet updated. Now, can I write a SOQL query to get the new values? No, you cannot write a SOQL query to get a new values. Why? Because they are not updated. Can I make a DML to update those values? No. Why? The new values are not yet updated to database. Okay. So I told you, even the before trigger, always a read and a write operation. So here we have trigger.old, trigger.old map, trigger.new, trigger.new map. People are clear? Okay. Now there is a small class. What is the class? Look at the format. I told record is modified. If I say record is modified, which field is modified? I told the record is modified. If you change the home phone number, then also it is called record modified. If you change the assistant phone number, then it's also called record modified. Am I right? When you say record is modified, you modify any one of the field in the record, that is called record modified. But I want to say, when a particular field is modified, run the logic. Run the logic when the name is modified. Run the logic when the phone is modified. I want to run this logic only a particular field is modified. I want to run this logic only when a particular field is modified. How do you know that particular field is modified? Then I have to check old value is not equal to new value. If old value is not equal to new value, then we say that the particular field is modified. Am I right? If you want to check that particular field is modified or not, then you have to say whether old value is modified as new value or not. Whether old value is equal to the new value or not. Old value not equal to new value, it is modified. Old value equal to new value, it is not modified. Then how do you compare the old value and new value? Yes, if you compare old and new, I know that whether value is modified or not. But how do you compare whether old is equal to new or not? Did you get my concept? Now I want to say whether particular field value is modified or not. When you want to say particular field value is modified or not, particular field value is modified or not, we need to check the old version of the value, we need to check the new version of the value. When you compare both of them, then I will be saying whether the particular field value is modified or not. But how do you compare? That's a question mark. Understand this requirement carefully. So, I have a database. In the database, first I have a record 001. 001 is the ID of the record. We are assuming that there is a 18 character ID. Pro. These are the records which I am trying to modify. You modify this record as what? You modify this record as Pro. How these values are referred? Old values are referred with, new values are referred with record dot. Now when you say record dot old map, what is the meaning of record dot old map? Record ID is the key, record is the value. Key, what is the key? 001, 001. What is the value? Record ID is the key. When you modify the record, will the ID of the record will change? When you modify the record, ID of the record will not change. Only the values in the record will change. So, in the old map and new map, is the key is the same? In the old map and new map, is the key of the record is same? Is the key is the same? Because when you modify the record, ID of the record will not change. Only values in the record will change. So when I say record dot new map, when I say record dot new map, what are the values we have here? This is how we are done. So if you look at the old map and new map, key is the same. Key is the same because the same record is modified. So old map and new map have the same key. Now, if you want to compare the old value and new value, can I do it in this way? For ID key, old map dot. There is a old map dot key set. What are we getting? Set of keys are coming. What are the set of keys? 001, 00. So if I say account old equal to old map dot get of key. If I say old map dot 001, 001, what value we are getting? Wipro 1111. In the map, if I give the record ID, what we are going to get? In the map, if we give a key, what are you going to get, boss? If we give a key, what you are going to get? Value we are going to get. I gave a key 001, 001. What is the value we are getting? Wipro 1111. The same thing, if I say account new ACC, new map dot get of key. The same key 001, 001 if I give in the new map, what is the value we are getting? Wipro 555. So old is having Wipro 111111, Wipro 5555. Now if I compare, if old dot phone not equal to new dot, so old phone number is not equal to, the people follow this. If you know the ID of the record, I can pass this ID to the old map, I can pass the ID to the new map. If I pass the ID to old map, old record we get. If I pass the ID to new map, I get a new record. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? Let me explain one more time, because the logic is going to run on the same concept. Now we are assuming this is the ID of the record. This is how we got. This is a old map, this is a new map. Now I am giving set of key. Set of ID key is equal to old map dot. There is a old map dot key set. What are the keys we are getting? What are the keys we are getting? Set out old map dot key set. What are the keys we are getting? 001, 001, 00. These are the keys what we see. Okay. Now we have old map and new map. What are the old map and new map? Look at the format. If I take old map, in the old map I have key value. What is the key? 001. We have 001. We have key value. Here we have new map. The new map, what is the key value we got? 001. What is the value? Pune. The other one is this is a old value, old map, this is a new map. Old map, old map, new map. Now let us see the logic for ID, A, what is the value of k now? Keys are what? 001, 002. What is the k value? 001. The value of k is 001. So what I am doing? Account A, old map dot get of k. What is the value of k? 001. If you give a k, what is the value we are going to get? 001. So this. If you know the ID of the record, pass the ID to old map, we get the old value. If you know the ID of the record, pass the ID to new map, get off. Then what is the value we are getting? 001. We got Chennai. We got the old value, new value. Now I want to know whether the city name is modified or not. How do you know the city name is modified or not? If A dot phone not equal to B dot. If old phone number is not equal to new phone number, what does it mean? Phone number is modified. If I give A dot city not equal to B dot, what does it mean? Old city name is not equal to new city name. If it is not equal, what does it mean? City name is modified. City name is modified. This is the logic what we are using to verify whether a particular field is modified or not. Whether a particular field is modified or not. Am I clear with this format? People have got this requirement? Clear? This is to check what? This is to check whether a particular field value is modified or not. This is to check whether a particular field value is modified or not. Now I have a business requirement here. Let us see the requirement. My requirement is whenever, let me write the trigger here itself. I am writing a trigger here on opportunity. What is the trigger that we are writing? Look at the logic. Whenever opportunity stage name is modified to, whenever the opportunity stage name is modified to closed one, set closed it as under type as new customer. Whenever the opportunity stage name is modified to closed one, set the closed date as today and type as new customer. Whenever the opportunity stage name is modified, opportunity stage name is modified means old value is not closed one, new value is closed one. Whenever the opportunity stage name is modified means old value is not closed one, new value is closed one. Then set the close date equal to today and type equal to new customer. Then how do you achieve this? If you want to compare whether field is modified or not, what I need? Old map and new map. Why I have to compare the old value, new value? I want to see whether a particular field value is modified or not. I want to compare whether a particular field is modified or not. So what I am doing? Okay. Now I told, it is not a good practice to write the logic in the trigger. Always implement in the class. Update handler. So shall we do it in the same one, or I want to add in the old trigger what I did? We already did an old trigger, right? What is the old trigger we have done? Update trigger. So already is what? Before insert, after insert. Before update. Before update. So go back to the update handler class. In the same class, we are writing one more method. What is the logic we are going to write? Public static void update. Now, if you want to Run this logic. What are the values we require? Old version of values, new version of values. Then I'm taking map of ID, comma. We have old map and a new map. If you pass the map of old values and if you pass the map of new values, then I'm going to run my logic. If you pass the map of old values, pass the map of new values, I'm going to run the logic. So how we are going to run the logic? First check whether stage name is modified or not. How do you check? For ID key old map dot ID key old map dot reset. So what I'm going to do, boss? We got the keys. Then get the old opportunity. How do you get the opportunity? Old map dot get off opportunity. Old map dot get off. If you give the key old opportunity, new opportunity, then we need to compare. If old dot stage name not equal to new up dot. If old stage name is not equal to new stage name and new stage name is closed one. You can do it in this way, or else you can say old stage name not equal to closed one. New stage equal to closed one. Old stage is not equal to closed one. New stage equal to closed one. Then what does it mean? Opportunity is modified to closed one. Then what I ask you to do? Stage name equal to closed one. Close date equal to that's what I have done. Boss, whenever the opportunity is modified, check the stage name. If the stage name is modified to closed one, set the close date equal to today and type equal to new customer. Then how you are going to call this? How you are going to call this? It is before update. After handle dot. How to pass old value? How do you pass like a dot? Old map dot. Pass old value and new value. So what I have done here was before insert, after insert, before update. So whenever it is a before update, run this logic. Whenever it is a before update, run this logic. Are you clear? Now when I am adding a new logic, I am not disturbing the existing one. That is the reason in the last session I wrote record dot is before, record dot is insert. Otherwise, what should I do now? I have to modify the existing logic. Okay. So this is how I have created this logic. People are clear with this? People are clear with this? So whenever a new opportunity is, if opportunity is modified, if the stage name equal to close to one, then set a close date and opportunity time. So let me take any one of the example. Now I modified. What is the date? March 28th. I modified as stage equal to qualification. So when a record is modified, stage is not modified as closed one, so the value is not changed. Here also I'm taking the value is not. Now I'm giving type of customer is existing customer, qualification is the stage. Closed one. Then, what is the close date here? 24th of this. Type equal to. People are clear? People are clear with this? People have followed. So, old value, new value. You want a particular field to be verified, take the old value and compare, take the new value and compare. Am I clear with this concept? People have followed with this concept? Right. So let us go to the next one. Even the update trigger